Welcome to the NFL Pregame Report.
Good morning, gentlemen.
How's everyone doing?
Good morning, guys. What's up, Dante?
What's good? What's good? What's good?
What's going on, y'all? We ready for another NFL Sunday?
Oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm always ready. Always now.
All right. So let's dive right into this one. We got some interesting stuff to talk about this week. First of all, let's start it off with kind of the most recent. Daniel Jones released by the Giants. Outright release. No trade, no nothing. Just see you later and best of luck to you. He got future endeavored. So let's talk about it for a minute. Let's first of all, the Giants are a mess, man. And I mean from the top down. Mara and company are the problem over there. That's become blatantly obvious. John Mara's an idiot. I mean, he's not on Jerry Jones level stupid, but he's making a case for it. But what do you let's start off with TJ. What do you think, man, on the Daniel Jones release?
I think sometimes, it's just when you're in just such a mess, it's just easier for both parties to just say, you know what, let's just throw our hands up and walk away. That kind of seems to be what's going on there. Unfortunately, the Giants, man, they just can't seem to get out of their way. This wouldn't have been as bad of a situation either if they didn't decide to literally give basically the franchise to him a few seasons ago. But they're just in a mess. Who knows what they're supposedly they want to keep the coaching staff for at least next season. They're sick of the constant turnover that way. But who knows? I mean, if you finish 2-15 or 3-14, it's kind of hard to argue you deserve to keep your job at that point. But when you're not really being helped by the franchise, again, it's just a full-on hands up in the air. They're a total mess. Not to do a spoiler alert for later on in the show, but I'm pretty sure they're all in our top 5 of future draft picks for next season. Put it that way.
100%. What do you think, Coach?
First of all, like TJ said, it's from the ground up. But I want to elaborate on several points. First of all, you got to go back in the draft. I mean, probably the one stud I think you did draft. You drafted Saquon Barkley. I mean, you drafted, Malik Neighbors, who's going to be a stud in this league. But you look at Deontay Banks, who has not been a solid corner. You look at the Neo kid from Alabama. He is doing nothing but get Daniel Jones beat up behind in the backfield. They haven't really addressed the offensive line. Really, that speaks on the fact how good how good of a running back he actually was to run behind a terrible offensive line. So they haven't really addressed that. Like I always say, the quarterback position is the number one thing you have to get right. You can be good based on your team can be irrelevant based on if you just have a very good quarterback. You don't have to have the best of weapons. If you just really have a good quarterback, really have a plain on good quarterback, a franchise quarterback, you can survive just off that. But it's clear, Daniel Jones had 2 good seasons, his rookie season and the year when they played the Eagles again. But again, that was benefited off who? Saquon Barkley having a great season. And when you stop the run, it made Daniel Jones beat you. Then he can't beat you. So what they do come in, you losing wide receivers. You didn't have a receiving core. You can't have Slayton as your number 1 wide receiver. You can't have him as your number 1 wide receiver. Sterling Shepard can't stay on the field. He might as well retire much as he gets hurt. And every time he gets hurt is a season-ending injury. Wan'Dale Robinson is capable, but I mean, again, then they don't have a tight end. They don't have a capable tight end. So they don't have the best roster. They don't really have the best roster. And Daniel Jones is just they really regret drafting him because Duke was just a terrible program to even go into at that point of time. They banked on his upside and it's just from the ground up. But Daniel Jones just wasn't never going to be a franchise guy. Wasn't never ever going to be a franchise guy for them guys. So I just think you got to get that quarterback situation right in this year's draft. You got to get it right. You just got to get a quarterback.
No, it was in my opinion, I don't know about you two gentlemen, but I think the Jones pick was just a massive reach. Like they reached on him big time, and they weren't. I could understand it better if they had built an offensive line, if they had like one or two good receivers, to go with Barkley, and like the quarterback is like the last piece that you have to just plug into that offense. But like you said, Dante, they've needed everything forever. Like they need a tight end, they need an offensive, they need tackles. The interior line's not too bad, but they need tackles. They need a true wide receiver one, and even never mind a wide receiver one, just receivers that aren't going to get hurt every week, and you're going to come to your third and fourth string guys. Like it was just a bad situation in general, just everything with it. And and you know what too? The saddest part about it is the Giants show no sign of getting better anytime soon. Like I think this is going to continue until Mara has to eat his words and realize that wholesale changes have to happen.
I think we're seeing like a generational shift. It's like suddenly 100%. All the older owners are now suddenly kind of being phased out literally or competitively.
The competitively is the big one. The competitively is the big one. These younger teams, and like you're saying, dude, they're literally just being outplayed by these younger owners, younger organizations with these guys that are kind of more willing to take risks.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the Steelers the past couple of years; they were stuck in kind of limbo, and then this season, Omar Khan comes in. They kind of switch it up and let him do stuff they haven't done in decades. And now they're not a great team, but hey, they're 8-3 right now. So
you know what I respect about Pittsburgh? They find ways to win. They're just a scrappy team. They do the best that they can to stay in the game as long as they can, and if they can win it in the end, they'll try and find a way to win it. And that's respectable, man. You got to respect that they fight, they scratch and they claw for the whole game. They're not one to let. The Texans are one too. It's the same way with these younger teams and younger coaches and younger GMs that like they put together these teams that, yeah, they might not have, phenomenal talent in one or two or three different spots, but they're scrappy. They're scrappy. They fight. They don't give up. They're not going to roll over and die on you. You're going to have to beat them for all 60 minutes.
The one thing, I would say about Pittsburgh, they consistent with it. They don't got to worry about going from coach to coach, every single time. They don't got to worry about, you may have questions about the quarterback situation, but again, that defense gonna come out and give you a chance every single night. You got a receiver that you can throw to in George Pickens. You got a running back. You got two solid running backs over there that can do some things. So again, I mean, one thing about the Steelers organization, they stay consistent. It's unheard of that you have 3 head coaches within the last 20-something, 30-something years. That's consistency, man. And a lot of these teams, they panic on the coach. They quick to fire the coach. But then again, things still happen. It doesn't change. Just like the Jets, they quick to fire Robert Saleh, but you still going with the same issues. You still have the same type of problems that you had when he was there.
100%. So let's kind of continue with the young player theme. Let's talk about the rookies this year. Drake Maye, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, and Jayden Daniels. I'm going to ask you guys a question, and then I'm going to take a 2-minute break. I'll be right back. I got to go run upstairs for a minute. Out of those 4, so out of Daniels, Williams, Nix, and Maye, who do you think has the most promise to have continued to, like, who's got the most promise? Who do you think is going to really be a problem in this league for a while? Dante, start it off.
I'm going to go. I like Jayden Daniels. He's not going to turn it over a lot. He's going to make smart decisions with the football. And plus, he got his team 7-3. got his team winning football games. So that's most important. Yes, he got off to a hot start. Like, he has not been actually the best lately. But again, Bo Nix probably has better numbers than he has. Probably has better numbers. If you look at the numbers, Bo Nix does have better numbers than he have. But far as, I like what Jayden Daniels has done to this Washington Commanders team, man. What you talking about? They got new ownership. And all that. They brought in new players. They brought in a very good linebacker and Frankie Louvu. They drafted wide receiver. They drafted got Noah Brown from my Houston Texans, who's a serviceable wide receiver. They got some weapons over there. Brian Robinson starting to come in his own, but Jayden Daniels, like I mentioned, man, it's one thing, to draft and pick the wrong quarterback, but it's if you actually pick of course, you're not gonna know when you're drafting someone. You're not gonna never know who's the right quarterback, who's the wrong quarterback. You would never know that. But Jayden Daniels just seems like the right quarterback right now. Than Caleb Williams. He just seemed like the right pick for the Commanders. And again, Jayden Daniels has his team winning, so I'm gonna go with Jayden Daniels, even though I do like what Drake Maye is doing with the Patriots. Yes, he's gonna have his days that he turned the ball up, but I like what he's doing. Patriots are playing better football. But I think Jayden Daniels, I like the outside of Jayden Daniels. Plus, he's already on schedule. The team is winning. They in the playoff spot. They in the playoff berth right now. Yeah, I like Jayden. I like Jayden Daniels.
Go ahead, TJ. What do you think?
I'm going to say Jayden Daniels as well. Bo Nix is a close second. But Jayden Daniels, he just has, for me personally, I like a scrambling quarterback. I like a running quarterback. And he brings that. He has the dual threat option to him. And one of the things that you worry the most about a quarterback when you draft a quarterback is, number one, is he going to be able to translate to the NFL and show promise? He did that right off the bat. Is he going to be able to show improvement? Yes. And worst case, if where he is at, say right now, is his ceiling, does he still give a chance for the team to win years down the road? I say, even if he does not improve from where he is right now, he is still going to probably be a mid-teens quarterback in this league. And he still has way more upside, I think. So I think the Washington Commanders really hit a home run by getting him. I think they're going to be a team to be reckoned with, and I can see Jayden Daniels, down the line, maybe 3-4 seasons from now, being in the argument for a league MVP award.
I'm gonna go. Jayden number one for sure, 100%. But the other three are kind of all jumbled in there together. They're kind of just like a one and then a 1 A, B, and C, because it's just that it's kind of hard to differentiate because they're all in similar situations. They all have pretty good promise. They're all pretty smart. The football IQ on them is pretty good on all the rest of them. If I had to pick, I would probably say Drake after Jayden, Bo Nix right behind him, and then Caleb. I think more of Caleb Williams' stuff is raw athletic ability over football IQ. Like, Williams is a better raw athlete than Drake Maye and Bo Nix, 100%. He's got better athletic skill. And it's not even a contest. But when it comes to like reading defenses and diagnosing stuff at the line of scrimmage, I think they're all pretty close. I mean, you've seen Caleb Williams throw some bad interceptions, Bo Nix too, and it's the same thing with Drake Maye. You've seen all three of them really mess up reading defenses. So I think they're all kind of just right close together. But Jayden's the clear winner in that scenario, 100%.
Rookie of the year.
100. Oh yeah, like no doubt as of right now. If the season ended right now, he would 100% be it.
You'd have to like bomb out statistically to not win it at this point.
And the craziest part about him is that it was immediate impact.
It was immediately. Yep.
Step right on the field and right from the game one, drive one, the kids showed that he's going to be a problem. Especially if Washington goes out and gets him some weapons in the offseason, that they're going to be, there'll be a problem. If Washington improves their offensive line just a little bit, and then gets him a decent like some more weapons to go with McLaurin and that crew that's in there, you get him a tight end or something, like a really high, let's say they draft a tight end, that team's going to be a problem.
Yeah, they will. They will definitely be a problem.
So now that we talked about kind of the promise of the league, right? And where, teams that are on the up, let's go to the other opposite end of that spectrum. And let's go, who do you think is going to end up with the top 5 picks in the draft? Which teams are just gonna bomb out and end up with the top 5 picks in the draft? Who do you think, TJ?
Whew. Well, originally I had a couple different teams on my list that have now been bumped because after looking at the records this morning, I didn't realize there were so many teams that weren't doing that great all of a sudden. I guess I was blinded by the fact that the Steelers got upset by the Browns on Thursday. So, I've been crying a lot lately. But my list.
But you guys are nowhere near as bad as Cleveland. Sucks. They're terrible. That was
stranglehold on the division moment,
that was let it go. You know what that was though? That was one of those any given Sunday games. They just caught you at a good, they just caught you guys.
Yeah, literally in the perfect storm, But I'd have to go with in no particular order because quite frankly I could see them all getting the number 1 pick. It would be the Raiders, just because they're a mess. They have no idea who their quarterback is. Who knows if Pierce and his staff is still going to be there next year? Some people are saying he's going to be given a second shot. You have other people saying, there's no way. This has been a disaster kind of experiment. Yeah. Number 2 would be the Titans. Again, they got rid of Henry. They, let Tannehill go. They basically conceded to this season and probably next season as well, basically being gutter seasons. We're just going to try and reload in the draft and free agency and hope we get lucky and make it quicker rather than longer, Third would be the Jaguars. Again, same situation, man. They have some pieces there. They need a few more, but they've just been a total disaster. Doug Peterson, it's pretty much foregone conclusion. He's out at the end of the year. Probably most of his staff is too. Trevor Lawrence, big question mark. He's not. He's almost like he's kind of fallen back.
You want to know why he'll still be back? Because of what they just paid him this year.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
No, seriously. Do you think anybody's going to want to take on that contract that they just gave him? Not a chance. I think by default he's going to end up back in Jacksonville.
Hey, man, we'll see. We'll see. Personally, I hope he gets another shot, but you never know. After that would be the Giants. Pretty much the same situation as the Titans. They've now officially gotten rid of their quarterback, who was never really starting caliber to begin with. They got rid of Saquon Barkley. As soon as you get rid of Saquon Barkley, he's been like 75% of your offense. That's you conceding the season. Point blank.
Yep.
And last on the list would be the Cowboys for me, just because they're just the sky's falling over there. Dak Prescott's hurt. Who knows what's going on? They legitimately have pretty much no real means to win another game. They should tank. They should get a better draft pick. If they win 2 or 3 more games, they're only screwing themselves out of a high draft pick. But those would be my.
If they win 2 games, that bumps them out of the top 10. So there's no point in them doing that. None. Just start Cooper Rush the rest of the year and just let whatever happens.
If Cooper Rush is playing good at halftime, you take him out, put Trey Lance in, throw some interceptions.
There's no point in them winning. It does nothing for them at this point.
No, I would just hurt their cause at this point. But yeah, those would be my top 5. A couple of very close honorable mentions, but just because of the more or less the franchise disaster they're all in is why they made my list.
100%. Coach, who do you think? What do you got for your top 5 picks?
Well, I'm not gonna put the Cowboys on here because I think Jared Jones is a guy that will just fuck everything up and just say, "Hey, we still trying to win." He's that type of owner that I can see it happening. I can actually see it happen, so I ain't gonna go with them. So you got, like TJ said, 1,000% agree with him. It's obvious. You got the Jaguars, you got the Giants, you got the Raiders, who has no quarterback. You got Tennessee. And, I'm going to go with Cleveland. I think Cleveland, divisional games is always tough. Divisional games is always going to be tough. Those are your toughest games when you play, because everybody know you. You play them 2 times a year. That's just part. And then you're in the snow, cold and all that. Cleveland used to playing in that type of weather. So is Pittsburgh. But I believe Pittsburgh just got caught on a bad Thursday night too. It happened to be Thursday night, but other than that, the top 3, obviously you can go with the top 4s easily. Jacksonville, Giants, Raiders, Tennessee, and then you got the Jets lurking. But you got a feeling the Jets can win a couple more games too. But other than that, I'm gonna just go with the Cleveland Browns. Like I say, Cowboys, I don't want to put them on because Jared Jones is gonna. He's gonna want to win. He's not.
Well, because the smart thing to do
would be to just tank. You know what I would do? I would just not start Cooper Rush and I'll just play Trey Lance. You got to see what he got.
But see, that's what they should do.
That's what they should do, but they won't do it.
They won't do it. No, they're going to do everything they can to try and win.
Yep.
Carolina too. They're another one.
Could be up and down. They're going to be in the top 10 for sure. They're going to be in the top 10 for sure.
They're still trying to win, so they'll probably get maybe 1 or 2 more and screw themselves out of it.
No, I was just TJ. I was just going to say that the thing with the Panthers is they're actually trying to win, so they might get 1 or 2 more and bump themselves to like 7, maybe 7, 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there. They might grab 1 or 2 wins. You got to think too. Teams at the end of the year that are already have their seeding set. They know. Basically, the teams that already know where their seed is, there's no point for them to play that final game. Even sometimes the final 2 games. If you know you're a 1 or 2 seed and you're getting a bye and you know where you're sitting and you know who you're playing, the hell's the point in you putting your starters out there and risking them for the playoffs? Nothing. No point to it.
You lying.
But I'm gonna go like you guys. I in no particular order because all of the Jets, the Raiders, the Giants, and Carolina. And then for the 5th one, I would probably have to put Jacksonville in there too, because all 5 of those teams could absolutely tank the rest of the year. They're just organizationally. They're just bad. They're just bad. Not even player-wise, but organizationally, they just have made terrible decisions throughout the year.
Yeah.
Like all the players wanted AP in Las Vegas. They gave it to him, hired him as the head coach, right? For good. Instead of him being the interim, they hired him as the head coach because all the players liked it. And now look where they're at. There's dysfunction in the locker room. It's not good.
You lying.
Yeah, no, it's there's going to be a lot of teams that are fighting for that number 1 spot for sure. All right, so let's talk about the Thursday night game since we kind of got into it a little bit earlier. TJ, your team. So let's get your thoughts on the Thursday night snow game.
I'm just going to say it's funny because every Steeler fan you talk to, we all say the same thing. That was classic Mike Tomlin. 5-game win streak. You could feel it. You could see it. It was like a movie script that, this game was going to be the trap game. This game was going to be the game we lose. We all hate Myles Garrett. Make sure you keep helmets away from him. He might start swinging. And of course, he's the first guy cheering and happy afterwards. I'm just happy again he didn't grab a helmet and start swinging. But I just it was just one of those games, man, where it just seemed like everything that could go wrong went wrong for the Steelers, and every break that the Browns needed, they somehow got. I'm still undecided on, I don't know if it would have even made a difference in the long run of the game, because they still scored a field goal on that drive, but that incomplete pass to Pickens being armbarred on the sideline, doesn't help they had the oldest looking referee on the field watching that play, but hey, that's just me.
I'm shocked that was not called a penalty.
Man, dude, they were getting away with grabs all night. But either way, I mean, the Steelers, even with that going against them, going into Cleveland, a divisional game, that when you're the away team, you're definitely going to get the shaft on judgment calls. Yeah. So I just think they didn't go in looking for it. I felt Russell Wilson, he looked out of his element. He did not like the cold. Literally the one drive that they gave Justin Fields a couple plays in a row went right down the field. Then they put Wilson back in, 1, 2, 3 and out, had to kick a field goal. Again, I'm still a big Justin Fields supporter, especially in the snow and the storm and a short week. I feel like he should have been given the start, or at least been given the reins after a really slow first half, but say la vie. And hey, who needs to strike a hold on the division anyway? Mike Tomlin's already only one game away from the standard of 9-8. So
maybe you can answer me this. What was their reasoning for starting Wilson over, like, Fields was playing well. Like, there was no indication that he deserved to be, taken out as the starter.
Mike Tomlin. It was Mike Tomlin's pure decision, because it was promised to Wilson before the season started. Even though, in sports, when injuries happen, I mean, obviously as a Patriots fan, damn well, hey, next guy comes in and steps up. You do not go back to the other guy. Hey, sorry, man, you missed your shot. Not my fault.
Especially if he's playing well. Like, Fields was playing really well. Like, really well.
If he started that game in the snow with the ability to run, Steelers win that game on Thursday. I can guarantee it.
That's just one of the decisions that I like. That's just a head scratcher. Like, he was playing so well, and he had gotten into a 2 or 3 game, like a 2-game rhythm, 3-game rhythm. And then they just kind of were like, nope.
Yeah, he even had a 300-yard passing game too. I mean,
I would have said, sit your old ass on the bench, Russ. You ain't going nowhere. Hey,
Russ, go weld on the bench, okay, buddy?
Somebody medical tape his ass to the bench and just leave him there. Dante, what are your thoughts on Thursday night, buddy?
My thoughts on Thursday night, I mean, it's just one of these little trap games where Thursday night game, snow game, I mean, bad conditioning. I mean, Pittsburgh did whatever all they could. They by the numbers, you think they won the game. I mean, they held the ball for 35 minutes, 11 more minutes than Cleveland did. They controlled the game, really. Couple of throws that Russell Wilson did not make. You even had Cleveland going 1 for 10 on third down efficiency. What they won on the fourth downs, though. The fourth down, they were 4 for 4 on fourth down efficiency. So you can say that played a role. But again, another game you lost when you forced your opponent to have 3 turnovers. You will force your opponent to have 3 turnovers, and you still find a way to lose that ball game. I mean, defense played solid. They played okay. I mean, again, well enough to win the game. Just couldn't get going. I mean, Nick Chubb had 2 touchdowns in this game, 2 rushing touchdowns in this game, so pretty bad officiating. But again, everything again, Steelers, converted us. I mean, they third down efficiency, 7 of 16, third down efficiency. I mean, they did everything they could to win. They outpassed them, outgained them, and you still lost the game. I mean, that's pretty much that's a disappointing loss, man. I mean, again, Russell Wilson didn't play.
So I'm just looking at it by the numbers now. I just pulled it up, right? This is it was really close. So total yards 368 to 304, right? So Pittsburgh won there. Pittsburgh won in the passing game 248 to 219. They won in the rushing game 120 to 85. The yards per play were the exact same, 5.5. First downs were the exact same, 17. But Pittsburgh went friggin' almost 50% for third down efficiency, 7 of 16. That should mean that you guys are on the field putting points on the board. You know what I mean? Like that's what that should say. And you had 67.
They also failed on fourth down.
They also had 6. So the total plays too, 67 to 55. That's you had more plays than them. Right, Cleveland punted more than you, 3-1. You had less. Pittsburgh had less penalty. You know what this is? Playing down to competition.
Absolutely.
It's the Mike Tomlin like curse. You know, that's the one of the downfalls that you get with him is the playing down to the competition. Because 35 minutes to 24, that's almost a whole quarter. You know? That's almost a whole quarter of holding the football. That's basically 2 extra drives to put points on the board. You guys put 2 field goals up, you win that game.
I mean, but Cleveland, the difference is when you kick field goals and your opponent get touchdowns. I mean, Cleveland, got touchdowns and, Steelers got field goals. So that's a huge difference too. That's a big.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what that says. Though that just basically says that Cleveland's time with the football was better managed. They took the points when they could and they scored touchdowns. Like you were saying, Dante, they scored touchdowns instead of field goals.
Yep. That's what it was. Cleveland was getting touchdowns and Pittsburgh was just kicking field goals. They were kicking field goals.
All right, so we got a couple of highlight games here, guys. Let's jump into those for the upcoming week for today. Let's talk about them. Cardinals and Seahawks. Dante, who you got?
I'm going for the Seahawks at home. They got a huge win over the 49ers at San Francisco. I think the Cardinals, it's a way the Cardinals can win this game, but I'm going with the Seahawks at home to win this game. I'm going with the Seahawks at home, to beat the Cardinals.
TJ, who you got? Hawks or the Cards?
I'm going with the Seahawks. They had a big win last week. They play a lot like the Steelers in terms of they always play for the most part consistent. It just depends on can they pull the game out in the end or not for the most part this season. And the Cardinals, they're kind of hot and cold. You just never know what team you're going to get from them. It should be a good game, but I think the Seahawks are going to edge the Cardinals out in the end.
I'm with that. I kind of feel the same way. I think it's going to be a real close game. I think Seattle is carrying the momentum. And I do think that's going to be either a touchdown or field goal game. I will take the Seahawks in that one as well. All right, next up, we got for our second highlight game, Eagles and Rams. TJ, what do you think? Who you got?
It should be another close game, but
sneaky good game. Sneaky good game.
Oh yeah. I think I'm going to go with the Eagles just because they seem to be slightly more on the consistent side lately than the Rams have been. So I'm going to go with the Eagles. Should be another close, probably field goal or last second touchdown makes the difference game though.
Definitely. I think that's going to be a sneaky good game. I think the Rams could give them some trouble. I do. Coach, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to take the Eagles. They're the hottest team, probably outside of the Lions, the hottest team in the NFC. I'm going to take the Eagles to build off that momentum. I do see a way that the Rams could win this football game. If they don't turn the ball over, I do see a way for them to win this game. They won the last 2 ball games, so I can see a way. This is going to be a really close game. I say it's like a 4-point victory by the Philadelphia Eagles, but I would not be surprised if the Rams have won this game.
If I'm the Rams, you know how I'm playing this game? I don't know how you guys feel, but lately I think Philly's been playing a little soft on the defensive end, the defensive side of the football, kind of like that bend, don't break kind of deal. So I'm taking everything they're willing to give me. And if I got to kick 9 field goals, and put points on the if they take what Philly gives them and just goes down the field and controls the clock, I think the Rams have a legit shot. My advice to them would be take the points when you can. If you're close and there's any doubt, kick the field goal, take the points. Obviously score the touchdowns when you can, but take the points.
You can argue the same for Sirianni too.
What? What's up?
You can argue the same for Sirianni too. Just take the points, bro.
Same thing. Yeah. No. 100%. Yeah. But if I'm the Rams, that's how I'm gonna try and beat the Eagles is to keep Jalen Hurts off the field.
Absolutely.
All right, one more highlight game, gentlemen, and then we'll jump into some lightning picks just to get everybody's thoughts on the games for today. The Ravens and the Chargers. Coach, what do you think?
I picked the Ravens in this game to bounce back. I picked the Ravens in this game. I think they're going to win this game really close. Like their defense has been slipping a little bit, but I like Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers them to bounce back and win this game. Even though Jim Harbaugh got this. I mean, Harbaugh got this team playing absolutely well. The running game was good. Justin Herbert was killing it last game, even though the Chargers did show some bad issues last game because the Bengals came back. Bengals actually came back. And then Justin Herbert just, was hot all night long. He would be able to take the team down the field to get a touchdown. Now I'm taking the Ravens. I'm taking the Ravens to win this game. It's going in a close ball game.
I think the secondary. I think the Bengals came back because the secondary got tired. They looked gassed at the end of the game. They couldn't keep up. They couldn't keep up with the Bengals. That would be my worry if I'm Baltimore, that back end of that defense. TJ, what do you think, though?
I think it's going to be another coin toss game. My heart really wants the Ravens to lose, so I'm going to go with the Chargers.
It would. Not saying anything about that giant Steelers logo behind you.
I'm completely unbiased. I just want the Ravens to lose every time. That's all. Honestly, I looked as Coach was talking, and the game is in LA, so I think that's going to give them the edge. I think it's going to be another really close game. Yeah, it's at SoFi, so I'm going to go with the Chargers just because of home field.
I might do the same. I think I'm going to pick the Chargers too, man. Harbaugh, I think they're finally starting to turn that corner. I think they have a rhythm. I think Harbaugh is kind of – it takes a while for new coaches to kind of learn the team. You know what I mean? It can take a little bit for them to kind of learn the team and get the feel for, what guys, what situations to put guys in and, who works best here and there. And I think Harbaugh and that team are starting to figure it out because Herbert did light it up last week. Mm-hmm. And they're starting to use Corum, which I absolutely have been screaming for them to run the fucking ball forever. That kid is a battering ram. Use him. He can handle 20 carries a game. Use him. He's built like a freaking tank. He can take the hits. Let him carry the football. So I'm gonna bounce off of that, man. I'm gonna take LA in LA too. I think they beat them, but I do think it's real close. It's another 3.6 point game. It's a good game, but I do think they pull it out. And I like Harbaugh too. I like that old school hard-nosed kind of coaching. I love one of my favorite coaches was Bill Cowher because he just didn't take any shit from anyone and would get in these guys' face. He would scream at guys and just tear their ass up for making for fumbling a football or just making a boneheaded play. I like the old school coaching like that. And Harbaugh is kind of bringing that back. He's holding people accountable in LA, and I think it's finally starting to turn over and starting to work. If you put your head down and grind and you pay attention to the little stuff, it works. That's how you win games. Football is a game of inches, man. But let's jump. So to end this, gentlemen, let's dive right into. We'll do some lightning picks here. Let me pull up the schedule for today, and we will jump into some lightning picks. Let's see. All righty, we ready? We're just going to go lightning round with this. You good?
Let's go. I'm ready.
All right, ready? Starting off with the 1 o'clock time bracket, Minnesota at Chicago. Dante, who you got?
Oh, this is a tough one, man. Chicago coming off a tough loss, which is, when it comes to a certain mode, Bobby, I'm pretty much sure you know this very well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty much sure you know. It's just certain teams have your number. It's just certain team is your daddy. Just like the Astros, the Yankees' daddy when we play them in the playoffs.
Hey, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Fuck the Yankees.
This is how Green Bay is to Chicago. Green Bay is just Chicago's daddy. That's just all it is. But other than that, this is a trap game for Minnesota, man. Sam Darnold
100% it is.
10 picks. You know what? I got Minnesota in the pick 'em, but on a live stream for his picks, I'm going to take Chicago at home to beat Minnesota. I think this is a really tough game for the Minnesota Vikings to win, especially the way they lost to the Green Bay Packers. Now, if they don't come out and play worth damn out here, then something is wrong. Something is wrong with Chicago. The season will be over, officially over for the Chicago Bears. But I think the Chicago Bears will play with some fight, some energy in this game. And I think then they're at home again. I think they will beat the Minnesota Vikings today. So I'm going with the Chicago Bears.
Check. TJ, who we got?
I'm going to go with the Vikings. Caleb Williams showed a lot of progress to new OC last week for the most part, but the Vikings are just going to be too much for the Bears to handle this week.
I'm with you too. I think Minnesota's just a better team overall, and I don't think they're going to be able. I don't think Chicago's just going to be able to overcome that. All right, next up, Indianapolis might want to pack this in and just forfeit this game. Detroit traveling to Indy. TJ?
We might see the Lions score 50 points again this week. I'm going with the Lions.
Oh, no, there's no might. There's going to be another 50-burger going down in Indianapolis. This game's going to be over at half.
I never thought I would be alive to say this out loud, but, can we just give the trophy to the Detroit Lions already? I mean, man, they're just getting better and better.
That team is something, though, huh? Holy crap, man. Coach.
Well, the only thing that would kind of make me a little bit disappointed today is the Colts beating the goddamn, Lions. A team that the team that actually played the Lions, gave the Lions all they got that Jared Goff struggled with. So the only thing that made me a little bit disappointed is the Colts beating them, seeing the Colts beating them, and we had the lead, dominate the whole game outside of the second half. See the Colts going there and beat them. But Anthony Richardson, too inaccurate, turns the ball over too much. If he's not running the ball, then hey, he's not going to throw the ball accurate. The Lions definitely going to put up points because that Colts defense is not good at all. The Lions definitely going to put up points. So
what they're going to do to Anthony Richardson? They're going to stop. The Lions are going to sell out and stop the run and literally make Anthony Richardson.
That's what you got to do. Yeah, you sell out.
They're going to make Anthony Richardson throw the ball 40 times and they're going to have 3 picks because he's just going to be trying to do too much.
They may make him do this again. They may make him tap out again like the Texans.
Oh yeah, no, but that's going to be their game plan. They know that Richardson throwing the football is not good for Indy. Mm-hmm. They're going to sell out to stop the run, and they're not going to. They're going to. You watch. It wouldn't surprise me at the end of this game if their yards per carry for their backs are 3.1, 3.2, if that. they're going to put them in second and long every time they get the football.
Yep.
All right. Next up for the 1 o'clock time frames, my New England Patriots traveling to Miami to face the Dolphins. TJ, what do you think?
I think this is a game of will, and the Dolphins need it. They still have an outside shot of making the playoffs, so I'm going to say the Dolphins, but I think it's going to be another one of those low-scoring, ugly defensive games that the Patriots are starting to revel in now.
The Patriots defense fucking sucks. Come on now. As much as the Dolphins are struggling, I still think they beat the Pats by 10 points. There's a lot of stuff going on in New England right now, and it's not good. The tackle, Drake Maye is the offense. He is the offense. The tackles, the interior line is fine. It's the tackles. They're just, the team isn't what it used to be. That's the best way I can describe it. It used to be run the football, control the clock, put teams in bad situations on defense. And right now, their D is just giving up so much, man. It's just giving up the defense is breaking the offense's back. Because the D used to the reason why the Pats back in the day with Brady were so good, and Brady gives credit to this all the time too. The Patriots defense would put him in short fields like 40% of the time. So when you don't have to go 80 yards to score a touchdown and you got to go, 45, 50, 55 yards, that's a huge difference. The Pats defense is no longer helping them. It's a hindrance now. There's a lot of problems on that team. They don't have a true wide receiver. Patriots don't have a true wide receiver one. The cornerback one that we got, Gonzalez, is struggling now because teams have tape on him and they figured out, you know what they're doing to him now? They're putting him in a lot of positions where they just pick him, He's following a guy and they just run a pick play on him. And that's how they're getting guys open against him now. That they've done it now for 2 weeks in a row where they run pick plays right in front of him. And he's run into his own guy 3 or 4 times in those 2 games where he can't get around the guy. So they've gotten tape on that. Patriots got a lot of work to do. Dolphins by 7-10. Coach, what do you think?
Dolphins 1-2 in a row since Tua got back. They still in the thick of things. They're still dangerous. I'm going with the Miami Dolphins. I'm going with the Miami Dolphins to win this football game.
Miami, the spread, the line for that, Miami -7. So that's interesting. The over-under is big, though. It's 46.5. So they still think there's going to be a lot of points scored. All right, still in the 1 o'clock time frame, gentlemen. Tampa Bay traveling to New York, I should say New Jersey, to face the New York Giants. Dante, who you got?
I'm going to pass.
I think that's a coin flip.
No, not for me. Not for me. I think the Tampa Bay. Oh, it's a coin flip for you, but when I say I'm not going to pass, I'm going to pass. That means I'm going for Tampa Bay. I'm going for them. I'm going for Tampa.
Well, Tampa should win that game. That's a trap game. You watch, though, Daniel being benched and then with Tommy, you watch the Giants win that game by 6 points or watch. I could see that happening because that's just what happens in the NFL. TJ, what do you think?
Does DeVito still have that same really cool looking agent? Because that'll affect my pick.
Yes.
No, the Bucks.
Yes.
Bucks 100% of the time. The Bucks, they're still in the thick of things. They still have a shot to make the playoffs. It is a classic trap game. but the Bucs should win this probably like 10-14, but we'll see.
They should. If the Bucs come in there and take care of business, they should win by 14 easily. All right, let's see. Moving down, we got 3 more games in the 1 o'clock time frame, and then we're going to go to the early afternoon. Next up, Dallas traveling to Washington to play the Commanders. Dante, who you got?
I will tell the Cowboys good luck. I will be nice and tell them good luck. Man, I'm going with the Commanders.
TJ?
Yeah, man, the Commanders all the way. They should win this. Again, this should be another probably 10-14 point game. You never know, divisional game. They could be surprised a little, but yeah, Washington.
All my Eagles and Giants fans are about to like me a lot because I got this for the Cowboys. And I think Washington wins that game by at least 2 touchdowns. I think Jayden Daniels throws for 350 today. Seriously, I think he throws for 350. What has happened to the Cowboys defense from last year? Honestly, that D was good. They were good. They were solid. They didn't, you didn't see them allowing all these explosive plays that you see these teams having again. Like, how many times have you seen like 40, 50, 60-yard, bombs being thrown on the Cowboys? Like, not only once a game, but like 2, 3 times. Like, their D just is bad. Like, they're letting like 40, 50, 60-yard bombs get thrown on them multiple times a game for like what feels like the last month. Like that.
Then you can run on the Cowboys too. You can run out.
Yeah. The downfall that Dallas has had to me is just astonishing. It's astonishing. They went from one of the better Ds in the league, probably like a top 12, to probably one of the worst defenses, a bottom 3, bottom 4 D. Like, that fall from grace was fast. Like, super fast. But you know what that says? Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn was that whole D, was the mastermind behind all that.
See how improved Washington is this year. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. 100%. Case in point, Washington's D instantly got better. Good morning, Derek. So are we all, Coach, did I get your input on the game, the Dallas game?
Yep. Yeah, you did.
TJ, I got you, right?
Yep. Yeah, we're all Commanders.
All Commander. All right, cool. The Washington's giving 11 points to the Cowboys.
Dang.
Interesting. All right, Kansas City going to Carolina to face the Panthers. What do you got, Coach? What do you think?
Wait, is it like, I'm just trying to see, is it a way Kansas City can lose this game? Is it a way they can lose this game? But I'm gonna go with Kansas City to win this game.
Can Pat Mahomes play to make this game interesting? Can Pat Mahomes have to throw left-handed? Oh God! And didn't they lost last week, right?
Yeah.
Kansas City. Oh no! All right, so this game's going to be 34-6 with 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. Do we post picks? I don't think so, Derek. I don't think we do. We should start doing that, though. Maybe we'll look into that. TJ, what do you think?
I mean, I think Kansas City can save the paycheck for the refs for a call or two because they should win this game without that. Yeah, I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with you, man. It should be a 20-point game by halftime, and they might get it. Carolina might get it back into the teens just because Kansas City doesn't care and puts in their backups for the whole second half.
Yeah. No, it's and you know for a fact that Buffalo loss had to piss them off. Like this is make an example out of you. Sorry, not sorry, game. Like this, they are gonna yeah, Derek, we'll look into that. Maybe we'll post it up on the Sports Wave Network's website, the picks. Yeah, like this is one of those rebound games for them. They're going to come back and they'll be like, no, sorry, guys. We're still the Chiefs. Here's 52 points for you. The first like five or six drives of the Kansas City game are going to be like touchdown, pick six, touchdown, fumble return for a touchdown, pick six, touchdown. That's what it's going to be like. That's what the stat board's going to look like in that Kansas City game. Can Bryce Young's quarterback rating be negative? Because it might be that this game.
It might be
minus 1.5 QB rating. Oh god, that's going to be an ugly. I feel bad for Carolina. I'm sorry for you and your fans for what's about to go down at 1:00. All right, moving down the line, gentlemen. Our final 1:00 game. Tennessee traveling to Houston. Coach, your Texans facing off against the Titans. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with us by 10 points, but again, these division games will always, like I say, be the toughest game. So I'm gonna go with my Houston Texans by 10 points. I like our defense. Our defense played very well. I think we get Will Anderson Jr. back today. That feels good to get him right back. Danielle Hunter's playing well. The offense, Joe Mixon is just running wild. Like Hulk Hogan said, what you gonna do when that's how Joe Mixon is playing right now. But other than that, I got to tell my Texans about at least 10.
TJ, what do you think?
Well, last week the Texans snapped a scoreless touchdown second half by the offense drought that they had going on. This week, I think they score probably 2 or 3 in the second half alone. Texans all the way. Yeah. I'm going to take the Texans. And correct me if I'm wrong, Dante, but haven't you guys been dealing with a lot of injuries this year? Like on and off?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nico Collins just came back against the Cowboys. He just got back against the Cowboys. Will Anderson been out the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
we still ain't got our linebacker Christian Harris back. I think our other corner Kamari Lassen will come back today too as well. So we've been on and off with the injuries. We've been on and off really with the injuries.
That's what I thought. I didn't know for sure, but I thought I was hearing that the Texans just all throughout this year have been dealing with injuries on and off. Nico Collins is back, which is huge. And Joe Mixon is healthy again, which is also 2 massive parts of the offense. And Mixon's a freaking animal, dude. I didn't realize that dude runs as violently as he does. Dude, he runs people over. He is not afraid to lower his shoulder and just go through people. All right, final 1:00. That was the final 1:00 game, guys. We're into the early afternoon ones. 4:05. Denver traveling to Vegas to take on the Raiders. TJ, who you got?
I'm going to go with Denver. They're just playing better football. Bo Nix is starting to light it up a little bit, showing a lot of improvement. And Denver, quite frankly, just have way more to play for at this point.
Definitely. Coach, what do you think?
Then like TJ said, Denver got way more to play for. They in a playoff spot. They in the playoffs if the playoffs start today, and you just have, the Las Vegas Raiders. They have nothing to play for. But other than that, these are the type of games you kind of want to watch out a little bit, because these are the guys, these are the teams when you're down the stretch and you're fighting for a playoff spot. These are the type of teams that will try to come and play and beat you. So you gotta make sure you get off to an early start. But at the end of the day, man, it's just like this team seems like they ready to go home. The Raiders probably, I don't think Antonio Pierce will be there this coming off season. I think they'll fire him, even though the players spoke out in highly of him and wanted him back. They're just not playing for him right now. They're just, not playing well for him. Quarterback situation is just situation just abysmal over there. They don't have the wide receivers anymore. The real bright spot you got over there is Brock Bowers. That's the real bright spot you got over there in Las Vegas. You got then you gave a lot of money. You gave a lot of money to Christian Wilkins. He gets hurt. Your first round pick, Tyree Wilson, hasn't showed up at no point. He look like a bust at this point right now. You don't have a running game, so who you running the ball with? You regret not paying Josh Jacobs, something that you should have done. But other than that, it's time for the Raiders to rebuild, get a quarterback next year. Another team that need a quarterback. You need a quarterback badly, because Aiden O'Connell, you're not sold on him. You're not sold on him, and most of the players wanted him to be the quarterback this year, and you just didn't give him an opportunity. So again, starts with a new coach. You got to get a new quarterback, and you need everything. The Raiders need everything in the draft. You need everything in the offseason. You need everything in the draft.
Yeah, they're one of those. They're one of those teams where it's not going to take just one. Like, I agree with you 100%, Dante. This is not going to take one draft to fix. They're looking at probably 3 to 4 years of free agency and draft to rebuild that team, because they need everything. They need an offensive line. They need a running back. They need a quarterback. They need a friggin' defensive line. Like they need everything. And Denver should beat this team by at minimum 2 scores. At minimum. Yeah, 100%. TJ, did I get you with this game?
Yeah, Denver all the way.
All right, cool. Moving on. And I'm with you guys. Denver's just the better team. All right, next up, 4:25 time slot. San Francisco travel into Green Bay to play the Pack. TJ, who you got?
Green Bay. This would have been probably the game of the whole weekend potentially if the injuries weren't there. But San Fran, man, they're just beat up. Purdy's not even in this week, so Green Bay, you got to win if you're Green Bay. This is a classic game where you got to win to keep increasing your playoff shot.
Definitely, Coach.
I'm going with Green Bay as well. It's a little tough one for me, but since I know Purdy is out, I'm taking Green Bay to win this game.
Me too. We're all on the Packers. This week. All right. Next up, they're saying Green Bay is given 6 points. So interesting. All right, next up, Arizona. We talked about this one, Arizona and Seattle. We did that one as the highlight. All right, final game, the Sunday night game. This should be a good game. Actually, we already talked about that one, the Philly and the Los Angeles game. Yep. So that's it, gentlemen. For
what about
our picks, let's see. We got the Monday night game.
We already talked about the Ravens.
We already talked about that one. That's the Ravens Chargers. We did. So that's it, gents. That Sunday night, Monday night game are going to be really good. Those 2 games are going to be very good games.
You guys want to pick the holiday games on Thursday and Black Friday?
Sure. Let's do it.
Yeah, I like that. We could.
Let's do it. Let me bring them up. All right, so we got 3 coming up on Thursday. Chicago at Detroit. New York at Dallas. Miami at Green Bay. So let's start off with the Chicago at Detroit. So the Bears about to lose twice. Badly. You might see an all-out riot in Chicago. Like, it's going to be bad. Coach, what do you think?
Man, God. So we saying that Bears about to get two ass whoopings this weekend.
Four-day stretch. 4-day stretch. You know?
Both of the Bears games are going to be over by half.
So who else we got outside of that?
Then you got New York at Dallas.
Well, at least that game has a chance to be close.
So technically, after I eat my Thanksgiving massive meal, I'm going to be able to take a nap from 2 o'clock to about 7. That'd be excellent.
So much more family time this year for all of us.
Yeah. So the New York Dallas game is going to be interesting, though. That's going to be interesting. That's at Dallas, right?
Yeah.
The New York it's at Dallas. Both of those teams just are horrible. Like, what an awful run up. The Miami Green Bay one should be pretty good. That'll be a good game.
Yeah.
But the first two are awful. Who puts that? Like, dude, that Detroit game's going to be over in the first quarter. Like, for real, that Detroit's game's going to be over in the first quarter.
You ain't lying. They play in Detroit too?
Yeah.
Yep.
In Detroit.
Ooh,
Yep.
Dang.
Well, just remember, though, it is the Thursday, though.
You know, on Thanksgiving, they're going to give their fans a show. So they're like, dude, they're going to have 600 yards in the air. Just in the air.
It is a quick turnaround. They might only drop 40, though.
Yeah. Instead of it being a 60-point game, they're only going to be able to drop 45 because they're tired.
You're gonna be a little tired, yeah.
I don't know who, dude. I can't stand both of these teams, the Dallas and in New York. But New York did take 2 Super Bowls from me, so I might by default have to root for the freaking Cowboys, which would hurt my soul. But the Miami. So what do you think? Miami at Green Bay. That's going to be a good one because that's going to be cold. So that's at Green Bay. Miami traveling to the Pack to Lambeau Field to play. Green Bay might win that game simply because of weather, and Miami's not used to playing in that kind of shitty weather.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Green Bay to win that one. I'm gonna take Green Bay.
That's what I'm thinking. This time of year in Wisconsin, it's not pretty.
I'm gonna go with Miami for the upset.
Oh, that's not bad. Not bad.
You're going Miami for ooh. All right. So and the Friday game, we might as well just sleep through this one.
What's
3
good?
o'clock start on Friday. Las Vegas traveling to Kansas City to play the Chiefs.
Dang.
Whoever's playing quarterback, I feel bad for the Raiders. They might as well just be like, nah, man, I'm a head out. I'm gonna pack it in. I'm gonna go eat some leftovers.
So the Raiders got to get they behind whooped again too, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, boy, we know we gonna have a mad Bears fan in the chat. Bobby Gooley gonna take 2, but
y'all might want to stay tuned because because Gooley's about to blow a gasket in about Thanksgiving's not Gooley's not going to be having a good Thanksgiving. He's not going to be having a good Thanksgiving.
Yep, the Bulls
You're
already
going to
not
see him
doing
in his car in Thanksgiving about 4:30 in the afternoon.
What's so worse? All three of his teams losing. The Cubs losing. The Bulls losing. The Chicago Bears. They losing.
But that is an awful lineup for Thanksgiving, though.
Yes, that is.
Detroit's going to absolutely demolish Chicago, right? And then you have just two of the worst teams in the league in the Giants and Dallas playing in the primetime slot, the 4:30 slot. So that, dude, nobody's going to be even watching anything until 8:20. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if those first two games get low ratings, simply because everybody knows the outcome already.
Yep.
Everybody knows the Detroit outcome, and nobody's going to care about the other one. It is garbage. It's like awful. They should have saved the Eagle game for Thanksgiving. They should have saved that Eagle game for Thanksgiving. That Eagles and Rams game. That's what they should have done. They should have flexed that game to then. Just awful, man. But that's all we got for today, gentlemen. Enjoy your hopefully you guys' team gets the win. Dante, I want to see the Texans keep going with that momentum. Hopefully they get back on track. Hopefully Nico Collins keeps going. He's killing it. I need him to get back on track because if he doesn't, I'm screwed in fantasy.
Yeah.
No, the Texans will be fine. They're going to get back on track. They should win that game.
Yeah.
But thanks again, gentlemen. That's it. That's all we got for today. Good luck, y'all. Good luck to everybody in the chat to your teams. Hopefully we all get to celebrate a victory Monday. And happy Thanksgiving from everybody here at the Sports Wave Network to you and yours. But for now, we are out of here, guys. Everybody have yourself a good Sunday, and we are out.
See you guys later.